So I've sent over 1 million cold DMs. I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars with these two playbooks, these two systems that I'm going to give you here in this video. And my style's no BS, no fluff. I want to dive into it, okay? What I'm going to give you here in this video on the left is the exact playbook, the exact process I followed to go from 0 to 10K a month. And so if you're at 0, this is going to serve you. This is the cold outreach system that I used. And then to go from 10 to 30K a month, I followed this playbook right here. So if you're somebody that's trying to do this, trying to get to 10K or trying to get to 30K, this video is going to give you the full playbook. Like, I'm so excited to show you this because it's going to be insanely valuable. And I need you to lock in. I need you to listen to this because if you apply it, you're going to know the numbers you need to hit, the KPIs, the expectations, the roadmap, the process, the boom, 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 everything you need. Okay? Let's go ahead. Let's dive into it. So 0 to 10K a month, cold outreach funnel. I think the best way to go from 0 to 10K is by just doing outbound. You don't want to spend money on ads. And you also don't want to make content if you're not an expert in your specific skill set, okay? So the goal from doing cold outreach and going from 0 to 10K is to book calls fast. What you need going from 0 to 10K is you need momentum. You need a sense of momentum. It's what I tell my clients. Feel some momentum, book a call, close a deal, get this a positive outreach response, get something to show that what you're doing is working. You want to get proof of concept on your offer as fast as humanly possible. You're trying to book calls fast, and it doesn't really matter the quality of the calls. You just need to get reps in and talk to the people that you're selling to, okay? There's a couple reasons why most people fail with this, and I'm going to speed run this, okay? Number one's a volume problem. A lot of people just strictly have a volume problem and don't have proper expectations. At my peak with cold outreach, I was sending anywhere between 800 to 1,000 DMs a day, and I didn't do it myself. I had 4 beautiful $3 an hour VAs from the Philippines that I absolutely loved. That would help me send out this amount of outreach. So you probably have a volume problem if you're sending any less than 100, and that's like minimum, dude, 100 DMs a day. Number 2 is an iteration problem. You don't understand how to actually consume feedback from whatever that you're doing and iterate on it. And I'll give you this example here. This is something that it changed my life. It's called the feedback flywheel. I didn't know I was doing this until I actually put it into a framework. And I want you, I don't care what level you're at, 30K a month, 100K a month, I don't care. This is how you make any decision in business. Everything starts from an idea. And here's a little note. If you don't have good ideas for content, for outreach, for ads, for whatever, VSLs, it's probably because you don't have enough free time to come up with those ideas. The best ideas you and I get are when we're on the toilet, when we're in the shower, when we're on a walk, when we're at the gym, when we're outside of the social media noise and off the phones and off consuming. Get out of consuming mode, okay? Here's where you come up with really good ideas for your business. Any idea that you have, in this example with cold outreach, hey, I have this new idea, I'm gonna launch this outreach script. That idea needs to get put into action. Everybody says take action, right? Action stems from an idea. You take action on the idea, which is step 1. I don't have any sympathy for people that don't take action. Action is like a prerequisite. Even with my clients, I tell them, I'm like, bro, the reason we're killers in here is because we have an environment of just straight action. All you need is the strategy, and then you apply it and you get results. That's the only playbook. I told somebody else this the other day. I was like, dude, you want to scale your business, you want to become quote unquote successful in your, like, what you view that as. It takes strategy and it takes mindset. You need to know what to do, and you have to have the mindset to be the person worthy of getting to that goal that you want by taking the actions on the strategy that you need to have. So it's both internal mindset and beliefs and strategy. Tony Robbins says business is 20% strategy, 80% mindset. I think that's kind of true. Like, I probably felt the same thing for me. I know that at every stage in my business, I've had to evolve into a new type of person that has a different baseline and standard for themselves, right? So everything stems from an idea. You take action on the idea, and the action leads to a certain result. The result is going to provide you with feedback. And here's the interesting thing. The feedback that you get, the result that you get from anything that you do is either going to be positive or negative. It's one or two, like, you only have 2 options. It's either going to work or it doesn't work. So if you have this idea, new cold DM script, right? Boom, you put it into action. Maybe the result that you get is negative. You get a negative result and it didn't work. People are cursing you out. You're not getting any calls, boom, 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 right? The next stage after that is to iterate based on the feedback that you got, whether it's positive, meaning you do more. The iteration is an idea to do more of it and how you're going to do that. Maybe it's negative and the iteration is changing an actual variable in the process. So that's an iteration problem. Another reason, a proof problem. If you're sending cold outreach, like I get like 10 a day on my account. and I look at your profile and you have no proof, you have no content, you don't have like anything showing that you're decently good at what you do and what you say you can do for me, I'm not going to respond. Okay? Maybe the next thing is a strategy problem. Maybe you're sending outreach trying to get people onto a call, like saying, hey, do you have 15 minutes for, like just stupid outreach strategies that just don't work. General principle here is come value first in anything that you do. Just solve problems for people. Some famous guy said that you show people you can help them by genuinely helping them. Help people by actually helping them, not saying that you can help them, right? Last one's an offer problem. This is for a whole separate videos, and I have a ton of videos on offers. But I mean, most people that are doing the volume, they're iterating correctly, they have proof, they have the strategy. If it's not working, it's due to the offer and the messaging is not nailed in, which we'll talk about a little bit on the 10 to 30K a month side. So you understand the feedback flywheel. Use this mental model when it comes to making any decision in your business. A lot of people complicate what funnels they should be using, right? I don't like to complicate it. On the outreach side, it's very, very simple. You're sending DMs. You're sending DMs right here. And the whole goal of the DM is not to get people onto a call right away, but you need some form of lead nurture, right? Any funnel, it's lead gen, lead nurture, lead conversion. So you're going to generate leads by messaging people on Instagram. And when they respond positively, like, yes, Christian, I want this thing, then you nurture them by sending them to one specific VSL that you could host on a landing page, a freaking YouTube video, like anywhere. Just host one video, create a VSL, and I could make a training on a VSL if you want one, like an updated one for this year. You send them to a VSL and then allow them to either automatically book a call through the VSL, or you continue talking to them in the DMs once they're more nurtured to get them onto an appointment. Simply put, this is the cold outreach funnel. It shouldn't be complex because it is very simple. Now, here's some expectations when you go into it. It's going to be hard to close these leads, okay? Because these people don't have much trust with you. They saw a message, they saw one video from you, and then you're playing on hard mode to try and close them. It's also an interaction where you're kind of coming to them, which is why this phase of getting from 0 to 10K, it's hunting mode. You're hunting down. You're a shark. You're a killer, right? This is where you get really good at sales. So it's going to be hard. You need to overcome the trust bridge to get people to close. There's a bridge of trust that needs to be built. You wouldn't pay a stranger thousands of dollars to coach you or provide a service for you. You have to trust people, and people need to trust you in order to buy. Use a story, a personal story on the call or on the VSL to increase trust, to get them to trust you, lower their guard in order to buy. I tell people all the time, it's easier to go from a 1 to a 10 than from a 0 to a 1. If you're at 10 grand a month, it is 10 times easier to have me help you get to 30 than it is for me to help you go from 0 to 10. Because at 10, you already have proof of concept with your offer. You already have, things that are working. And yeah, here's an analogy. Your business is like a plane, like an actual plane. A commercial jet, this is ChatGPT, told me this. A Boeing 737 needs to reach 150 to 180 miles per hour just to take off. It uses full throttle on the runway, and takeoff requires the most fuel per second in the entire flight. The first 1 to 2 minutes use as much as 50% more fuel than actually just cruising in the air. Once airborne, it could cruise effortlessly at 600 miles per hour using 85% or less engine power. And the analogy here is that when you start in business, you need to go full throttle, 100% engine power, with zero expectations of getting results. I heard this from one of my clients. It's an incredible entrepreneur. He said you want to detach yourself from the outcome of whatever that you're doing. Okay. So I talk to people that have unrealistic expectations and have no skill set, and they're like, yeah, I'm trying to hit 30K next month. I'm like, dude, don't set that goal. Set the input as the goal, which is sending X amount of DMs, Y amount of YouTube videos, whatever. You set that as the goal because that's the only thing in your control. The actual outcome is out of your control, and we leave that up to God or whatever you believe, right? Many get thrown off by this, and it's why they fail. I used to work at GNC, and I was paid $10 an hour, like the supplement store selling protein powder, pre-workouts. That was my first and last job, $10 an hour. And the second that I stepped into that horrible place that I just despised, I knew I was getting paid immediately. The second I clocked in, 9 a.m., boom, I'm getting paid. I'm getting $10 every single hour that I'm there. When I started my business, I went 8 months without making a single penny. Then I signed a client, and that client paid me what I made in 2 months at this job, because it was like a part-time job or whatever. The actual principle here is that you need to have delayed gratification. And we live in a world where you slap things into the microwave, you Instacart groceries, everything comes instantly to you. And that's not success. Like, that's not how you build a business that brings you the life that you want. you have to have delayed gratification. And a lot of people starting off, they don't understand this. Here are some KPIs, and I'm going to speed run this again. When you're sending outreach, you want to aim for at least a 5% positive response rate. This means 5% of people that you reach out to are saying, yes, Christian, I want your thing. I want this video. It's going to solve my problem. From there, you should get about a 20% booking rate if you're DMing them and calling them, or calling them if you could find their phone number after they actually positively respond. Don't just expect people to watch your VSL and just book through your VSL. You have to stay on top of it. You can expect about a 60% show-up rate. Show-up rates with a cold outreach funnel are lower. I experienced at times a 30%, 40%, 50% close rate, or show-up rate, excuse me. And then close rate, you want to aim for about 20%. So here are the numbers to 10K a month. Here are the 5 Ps. So this is the example I'm going to use not only for the 0 to 10K a month, but for the 10 to 30K a month funnel on the other side. Let's say we're selling to realtors. That's the profile. These are the 5 Ps I work on when it comes to an offer with my clients. The next is the promise. The promise can be to a realtor, hey, we're going to help you close an extra 6 deals in 6 months. The plan to get them those 6 deals is implement our AI SMS system. You throw AI in there because everybody loves AI right now. And then you give them a step-by-step process. So people call it steps. Some people call it pillars. Some people call it stages. The 3 stages for this offer is you're going to launch the SMS system. We're going to optimize the numbers, and then we're going to scale it. Next P is proof. What's the proof that you've done this for other people? I helped another agent hit 100K in commissions in 3 months. And let's say the pricing for your offer is 5K pay in full. If we're sending 100 DMs a day, here are the monthly stats, assuming that you only work 5 days out of the week for a full month, 20 working days, you would send 2,000 DMs per month. If you get a 5% positive response rate, that means you're going to get 100 positive interested leads per month. I hope I'm not going too fast, by the way. I know I'm going fast in this video, but 2,000 DMs per month, 5% positive response rate, you'll get 100 leads per month. And then if you book 20% of those 100 leads into an appointment, you'll get 20 booked calls a month. If you get 60% of those calls to show up, you're going to get 12 calls shown at a 20% close rate, means you sign 2.4 clients per month. So call it 2 at a 5K price point, means you're at that 10 grand a month mark. If you could aim to hit these KPIs, you'll get there. The reason it looks so simple, but a lot of people don't get there, is because these numbers are the things that get out of whack. Some people are at a 1% response rate. Some people are at a 2% booking rate. Some people are at like a 10% show up rate. You want to use the theory of constraints to solve this problem in whatever you're doing. And the theory of constraints says to find the one big bottleneck, the one big lever. If you pull that, your business doubles. So let's say all that we did here was, let's say the biggest constraint was close rate. Let's say the close rate was 20%. Let's just say that was the worst number. If you were able to double this to 40 by studying sales and sending call assets to nurture people and get them to trust you more, you would double your business and you'd be at 20K per month. You understand that like business is all just a numbers game, right? And I just did these numbers with a client, got it super clear on everything that he's doing to get to 30K a month. And so it's a numbers game. We're going to do the numbers from 10 to 30 here as well with the other funnel as well. So this is cold outreach. Now, I believe that getting past 10 grand a month, if you're at 10 grand a month and you're trying to get to 30, 50, 100, etc., I could speak on my experience going from 10 to 30 using a warm outreach ecosystem. So very similar to cold outreach, but it's a warm process that keeps leads in a pool where they can buy from you on their own time when they're ready. And I have found that going from 10 to 30, going from 0 to 10 is great, and you follow this process. But to get from 10 to 30, you have to change what you're doing. Okay? Because if not, you'd already be there. And in my opinion, it's like 0 to 10, once you hit 10, you have proof of concept on your offer, you have some money saved up, you're able to invest and use more leverage. That's the actual goal here, is we want to use more leverage. We don't want to be in an unleveraged business model or acquisition system. So this is what I do right now. And this is, again, I just practice what I preach. The goal here of this process to get from 10 to 30 and so on, we want to utilize leverage in our marketing. We want to build an ecosystem. What's an ecosystem? It's different from a funnel. In my opinion, a funnel is like a one-way, like buy or die type of interaction with a lead where they either buy now or you never talk to them, peace out. You want an ecosystem where you can get the people that are ready to go, the 3%. I heard like some stat, like 3% of the market is ready to buy from you right now. These are people that have the money, they're looking for your service or coaching or mentoring or whatever. 3% of the market's ready to go. We want to get those 3%, but we also want to use the 97%, allow them to consume our content, allow them to build more trust with us and buy when they're ready. Okay? So yeah, you want to make the most out of every single lead. The mode that you're in is no longer the hunting mode that you were in from 0 to 10K. 0 to 10K is getting your feet wet. It's getting your skill set up. It's becoming good and building some expertise in something. Now you could enter attracting mode. This is where you attract clients to you. This is where people come to you because you have expertise in your specific skill set. If it's running ads, if it's doing outreach, if it's making content, whatever skill set you have expertise in it now because you've done it for yourself to get to 10K, and you probably, hopefully, have case studies as well. So the goal here is to scale with ease, right? Because you can take this process to 30 grand a month, but I did this and I don't recommend it because it's draining and I just didn't like it. So yeah, basically what warm outreach is we're DMing people. We're doing outreach to people that have actually come to interact with our stuff. So the actual skill set to get from 10 to 30 is getting really good at content creation. That's one of the biggest ones. So what we want to do is we want to create content and allow the people that follow us, that comment or like our content to be messaged. And this is the most leveraged way to do outreach. The best interaction as well, because you're not chasing these guys down. They followed you. They came in. Now you're talking to them. You're finding a problem. You're getting them on the call. And you're positioned as an expert in what you do. They came to you, right? Here's the actual funnel. Again, simple, very, very simple. Let me break it down for you, okay? Right here on the left, we have the lead generation. For lead generation, we use YouTube. You see it everywhere. All the people online are now talking about it. And I've known this for an extremely long time. YouTube's the #1 platform like on earth to create content, both to bring leads inbound and also pre-sell existing leads that found you somewhere else. So we use YouTube. We build a YouTube content system that's aligned with the marketing message of your offer with Instagram ads, okay? Now, I don't know if you know the strategy, but I use simple Instagram ads to get people to follow me on my page. Again, what I want to do is I want people to come land on my Instagram account, follow me, so I can go and message them. So I create simple ads on Instagram that I just boost, and I do this like in various different niches. I have a fitness coach who just launched his ad. I have business coaches. I have agency. Like people are all doing this because we want people to come from Instagram, come from YouTube, and land onto our lead nurturing pre-selling mechanism, which are basically all these videos right here. We call them mini VSLs. It is a sales library. It is a series of videos that destroys every possible objection a prospect can have and gets people pre-sold on your specific solution. You're going to treat this sales library as your salespeople, because the goal of this is people come onto the actual Zoom calls pre-sold. This is what we like to call an enrollment call, not a sales call. Somebody that's enrolling into your program or service is enrolling because they watched videos that did the selling. You can't avoid selling somebody and persuading them to buy your thing and why they should. By the way, persuading is not a bad thing. Convincing is a bad thing because convincing is for your own benefit, but persuading is for their own benefit. You're persuading them. You're showing them why this is the thing that's going to get them to where they want to go. It's for their own benefit, right? Hopefully what you're selling changes lives and you care about serving people. If you don't watch this video because I don't want you scamming people, okay? So we combine YouTube organic, Instagram short form stuff, follower ads, get people onto our page where we then send them to a sales library, and then we convert them over the DMs, same way we're doing over here, DM setting. We're DM setting them, we're having conversations back and forth in the DMs, and I have a training on that as well. And then we're either getting them onto a Zoom call or just selling them in the DMs. I've sold people a high ticket program over the DMs just because they knew who I was, they knew what I'm about, they knew the results that I got, and they were just ready to go. Some people like to get on calls and make sure the solution is perfect for them, okay? This is the actual funnel. People overcomplicate this. It's simple, but it's not easy. Here are some expectations, okay? When you're using this funnel, who you are plus your messaging matters more than anything else that I can give you. I remember, I've bought a lot of different coaching programs and a lot of them didn't work for me. And it was just purely at the time, I wasn't the person that I needed to be to get to where I wanted to go and to make it work. Because all work works, all strategies work, all the videos that you watch about funnels and systems and tactics, they all work. But it's which one you can actually make work based on where you're at. So if you're gonna use this warm outreach funnel, the IG profile ads, the YouTube organic, the sales library, the DM setting, if you don't have proof to back up the stuff that you say, none of the ads, none of the content that you do will work. You can become a creator and an expert and somebody that attracts clients to them when you are worthy of being attracted to. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? You need to be good at what you do. If you're not good, you're going to make content. People are going to see straight through it. If you're not an expertise in the specific knowledge that you have, it will not work because content exposes who you truly are. And that'll either be for good or for bad, right? You try to sit in front of a YouTube video and you don't know what you're talking about, people are going to know that. And that's going to make people not want to buy. You understand? So who you are matters a lot. And if you're not the person that can sit in front of the camera and record videos and help people and solve their problems, then you have to improve your skill set. And you probably have to stay in the trenches of doing outreach a little bit longer until you can get there. Let's go back. Your messaging. Messaging is the most important component of any type of advertising or marketing that you can do. You have to find messaging that's already working in the market and then put your unique style and spin to it. So don't try to reinvent the wheel, okay? Just imitate what's already working, model what's already working. If you do that, you're gonna win. But make sure you put your own unique style to it. Your own words, make it in your own language, own it, name your process. Speak to the core problem that keeps your clients up at night, and then speak to the desire that your clients dream about at night. Both the core problem and the desire. The point A, current situation, the point B, desired result, end situation. If you are at the desired result that your prospects want to get to, you create a hero's journey. This is where you can use an origin story. You have your own origin story to resonate with the problem they're dealing with and reveal to them the solution that you found through a story. Story selling. Read Russell Brunson. You have to sell with stories. It's the best way to sell. As a matter of fact, that's how I sold as well. Even on the cold outreach funnel. Like, I was dealing with super cold leads and like, I still made it work to make my first 100 grand, my first 6 figures. But the reality is, like, I had to sell so hard on the call. And what I did on the call to actually improve my closing rate is I would start the call by telling them my origin story and what I got through and how I figured out the problem that they ran into and how I found the solution, how I did it on my own and how I got the result. If you could show them the hero's journey, hey, I was at where you are right now, and I got to where you want to be. Here's how. Then they're gonna buy from you. Very simple. Warm outreach changes the dynamic of the conversation with a prospect. They followed up, they followed you, is what I meant. They came to you, you attracted them, and they did this for a reason. They took action to interact with your page or subscribe to you on YouTube or DM you for a reason. And our objective in this DM process is to figure out what part of our content got them to take an action to follow or DM us on Instagram. And when you ask the right questions, they're going to reveal the core problem in their life or business that will drive them to take action and pay in full for your program or service. I heard somebody say this one time as well, like when it comes to the Instagram ads. I forgot who said this. If you know who it is, like comment it down below. I heard somebody say this, that ads are always profitable on a long enough time horizon. And when I heard this in whatever content I was consuming, I thought of this example that happened to me. After spending tens of thousands of dollars on programs, learning how to run ads, I ended up launching an ad. And I spent $1,000 on an ad and I didn't see a return on ad spend. I didn't see a return. I just burnt $1,000 on fire and I'm like, you know what, screw this, I'm turning this off. During that time of running that ad for $1,000, I had a lead come in. And a couple months later, that lead turned into a $6,000 client. So my ad had a 6x ROAS if I was simply patient, because all ads are profitable on a long enough time horizon. And I was like, oh snap, I made an emotional ass decision. The reason ads don't work for people is because they're emotional. They're emotional. They're like, hey, I spent $500. Like, dude, I'm blowing this money. Like, no, you're spending that money to test and gain feedback from the market. Okay? So here are the KPIs you have to follow when you run these ads. So again, content on YouTube, short form content with boosted ads on Instagram to get people to follow you so they could jump onto your YouTube, consume your content, you could have DM conversations, and that's how you sell. Here's some KPIs. I'm running these ads right now. I'm getting followers for $2. So $2 for followers. KPI I would say is about like $3 per follower. Depends on your industry. I would say immediate booking rate should be something like 5%. Those are the 3% that are ready to go. You could book about 5% of them in right away. Over time, that booking rate will increase to like 10, 15, 20%. We could expect an 80% show up rate because the trust is going to be increased because they watched our content, they saw our VSL on YouTube, they saw a bunch of our sales assets, and then the close rate is also going to be increased. So again, I've done both of these funnels. I've done both of these processes with clients. KPI on this process should be a 40% close rate. If your messaging's dialed in, they've already consumed content, and they're pre-sold through the mini sales assets and VSLs that you have. Here's the roadmap to 30 grand a month. Here are the 5 pieces of the offer, same one as the one before, but here's how you're actually gonna get to 30K. Let's say all you were doing is spending $30 a day on these follower ads. Here are the monthly stats. You're gonna spend $1,500 a month on ad spend. You're gonna get followers, let's say for $3. For $3, you should get 500 leads a month. And if you book 5% immediately in that same month into appointments, you're gonna get 25 book calls a month. If you get 60% to show up, and that's me being conservative, because I mean, I'm getting 80, 90+% show up rates, you would get 15 calls a month. I think these numbers are correct. You can double check them for me. But then if we get 15 calls a month shown up at a 40% close rate, not show up rate, we would close 6 clients at 5K leading to 30K per month. Does that make sense? Again, one more time. $1,500 a month in ad spend, followers for $3. That means 500 leads, 5% booked in. That's 25 book calls. If 60% show, that's 15 calls shown. If we close at 40%, that's 6 clients at 5K equals 30K per month. If you have a goal of 10K, 30K, 50K, 100K, $1 million a month, and you don't know the numbers and you haven't reverse engineered the numbers to get there, you're never going to get there. It's just going to be a dream. It's not a goal. It's a dream. So make it a goal. This is the exact process that I followed. If you want my help, if you're at 10 grand a month, you're trying to get to 30, 50, 100, and you want my help doing this, I've helped so many clients get to 30K, 50K a month. Like I have a lot of freaking case studies. You can check them out on my Instagram. You could follow me there, ask me questions there. But yeah, these are the 2 processes. I speed ran this video. I don't think I've ever talked so fast in my life. If you found this valuable, let me know. Let me know what questions you have for more content in the future. And thank you for watching, man. That's it for me. I'll see you soon. Peace out, homie.